you through some lessons on how to play EA Sports Rory Mcilroy PGA Tour. We'll start. The first thing you need to know is how to aim your shot. Change your aim direction to aim at the targets and pass this lesson. Picking the right club is another key to shot selection. Your current club is always displayed here. Change your club to aim at the targets and pass this lesson. There are 6 basic shot types built into. Your current shot type is always displayed here. A full shot aims your club at its maximum distance. A choke shot aims you a little shorter than the club's maximum distance. A punch shot is a low shot used to get out of the trees or keep the ball under the wind. A pitch shot is useful when you get near the green. A flop shot is useful near the green when you need the ball to stop quickly. A chip shot is useful when you are right next to the green and have a lot of room to work with. Creating custom shots starts with knowing how to change your aim distance. Change your aim distance to aim at the targets and pass this lesson. You can further customize your shots by using shot shaping. Your shot shaping meter will show up here when you are actively using it. Change your shot shape to aim through the rings and pass this lesson. There are 3 different ways to play the game. Each offers a unique swing mechanic and supporting settings. The arcade style uses a simple analog stick swing. Additionally, when you pull down on the swing stick, the golfer's animation will begin. The backswing meter will begin to fill. When the meter gets full, you want to push forward on the swing stick. A readout of your swing will appear after you hit your shot. The arcade style also gives you the ability to boost your power and add spin to shots. The power boost meter will show you how much power you are adding to your shot. The spin meter shows you the speed and direction of your mid-air spin. Now that you know how to play and your training is complete, you can keep this style. Practice. So many historic moments have played out before our eyes in major championships, and today two of the top players in the world are set to tee off. Rory Mcilroy holding a one-shot lead over Martin Keimer, It's the final round of the U.S. Open Championship at Chambers Bay.
Going into, the final round of any golf tournament with a chance to win, especially a major championship, it's a huge buzz. That's the only way I can describe it. It's the best feeling a golfer can have because you're in the mix and you're in with a chance to win one of the biggest tournaments in the world. It's an incredible feeling. It's something that you may only get to experience a handful of times in your life. So, that atmosphere, you want to soak it in as much as you can and really enjoy it.
Rory Mcilroy coming off a strong performance yesterday, now making his way to that first tee box and looking to add another major championship trophy to his already growing collection.
And Rich, there's no doubt both golfers will be nervous until they get that very first tee shot under their belt.
The first tee shot is probably the most difficult because you've been thinking about that shot since the night before. Once you get that first shot out of the way, you calm down, you're a little more settled, you're not quite as anxious or nervous, and you sort of get into the rhythm of the round. You want to get off to the best start possible, and obviously that starts with that first tee shot.
Well, here he is, Rory Mcilroy, a past U.S. Open champion, about to tee off on what should be an historic day of golf alongside the beautiful Puget Sound. Frank looked like a nice balanced swing.
Well, the free-flowing action that we find synonymous with Rory Mcilroy in display, even under the nervousness of an opening tee shot in the final round of a US Open, and just blitzed it down the fairway.
That one carried a long way, stayed up in the sky forever. I mean, that is a monster hit right there. He carried that more than 350 yards. All right, Frank, how would you break down this approach shot here at the first at Chambers Bay?
Well, Rich, it's partially blind, so you've really got to fixate on the exact point that you want to aim at. That's one of the beauties of this golf course, so maybe even just have a little look and make sure you know that line, because once that ball hits the ground, the natural contours are going to take it in a certain direction. So really fixate on that line. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Looks to be a good one, Frank.
Oh, nestles inside 15 feet, so a birdie chance coming up for Rory.
This will be a birdie if it drops.
And early advantage, Mcilroy.
I think making putts early in a round is very important. It sets the tone for the day and it gives you some positive momentum early. You see the ball go into the hole and it gives you confidence. You face a downhill putt at a US Open with greens that are as tricky as that, it just makes it even more difficult. I feel like you always face important putts no matter when it is, but obviously they're that much more important when, it's the final round of a major.
Now over to the second, and McIlroy with a challenging downhill putt. Frank, I know it's early, but if he drops this could really spark some momentum for the round.
But this putt will be very, very quick. You've got to be careful because the ball can quite easily take off once it gets past the hole.
In. What a way to start this final round. Back-to-back birdies. After an impressive drive, Rory just 165 yards out, faced with this uphill approach shot.
It's going to play closer to about 175 yards, though, Rich, because of that uphill. So probably an extra club. But Rory, even though he grew up in Northern Ireland, where it's windy, is a naturally high ball hitter. No, it's a good strike. Good swing by McIlroy. And no problem finding the putting surface.
Good chance here. Wow, I thought he made that. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Rory McIlroy looking to take advantage with this putt. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts.
No, that's a shot gone forever.
There's some times when there might be a wait on a tee box, or you've played your shot and you're waiting on your playing partners to hit their shots, and you just look around and you realize where you are, because you don't really you don't appreciate it that much whenever you're playing, and that's not what you're thinking about. You're thinking about trying to win a golf tournament and not really taking in the beauty of your surroundings.
Well, this is one of the most spectacular spots on the entire golf course here at Chambers Bay. The 9th, they call it Olympus, and what magnificent views as Rory McIlroy gets set to tee off here on this par 3.
And there's a great view, too, of how exposed this golf course is. So if the wind is whipping, this hole can play very treacherous. Won't play its full yardage, considerably downhill. Club accordingly for that, 1 or 2 clubs less. Green a little narrow when you get towards the back. So this shot really has to be respected.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Long putt here. This will require a good touch. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. And getting ready for the putt. You can see the golfer is just boiling right now after that miss, and a drop shot here at the 9th. Trying to get out of here with just one dropped shot. This is for bogey. Well, too bad. He gives one back. Now McIlroy is the chaser, looking up at Martin Kaymer, and that is no easy task, playing a U.S. Open and chasing the likes of a Martin Kaymer. Plus, pretty difficult shot coming up here at the 15th.
It's going to require a great flop shot to get the ball up so quickly and get it to stop in such a short space is going to take every bit of skill.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that.
Rich, you get that feeling if there's going to be a moment, I think that moment is now.
Trying to clean this up, make his par. Well, that was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
No, sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Just a couple of feet. Cleans that up in the hole.
Final few holes to play, especially of a major championship like the US Open. You know, it's what you've worked so hard for. It's what, you know, you've put all those hours of practice in for, and you know, this is your moment. This is your moment to see what you've got against the best players in the world and test yourself at the ultimate level. There's obviously a lot of pressure. You know, you don't want to let an opportunity like this pass you by. You don't want to let it slip. So just stay really focused, really concentrated. Try to take one shot at a time. Try and put the result out of your mind. Control what you can control. But saying that, it is difficult with so many things going on around you, whether it be the crowd or it could be the person that you're going up against. You know, there's so many things that you can't control, but you know, the things that you can control, that's what you have to concentrate on, and that's what you have to try and, you know, do to the best of your ability. And if you can do that, that's what gives you the best chance to try and win a huge tournament like the US Open.
You couldn't ask for much more than what we have right here. Two former US Open champions, 17th hole, tied for the lead, Martin Kaymer and Rory Mcilroy.
And Rich, it's easy to remember these types of situations, and it's as much about mental toughness as anything right now. The 17th hole is named Derailed, and I'm sure it's a great test for both men's mental toughness.
Well, you don't want to compound the error. Out of bounds, and now back on the tee with a provisional. This one has to be in play. This will be the third shot after being penalized for going out of bounds.
This is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Frank made this hole just a little bit harder hitting it into the rough.
I would say a lot harder.
Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. Frank, I guess it could have been worse.
Yeah, double bogey's not the end of the world. I don't know if I'd want to tell him that right now, but still, at the end of the day, he might realise what a good shot that was.
It happens. You have a tough hole. Time to pick up and move on after the triple bogey. Frank, this has been just a fantastic week, and these last few shots are going to determine the entire championship.
Rich, normally you'd think par on the 72nd hole would be good enough to win a US Open, but this par 5 is certainly reachable by these players. Par, no doubt, will not be good enough.
What was he thinking there?
I have no earthly idea.
This one doesn't look too good, Frank.
There's a bunker over there, and it's heading towards it.
Yeah, it's in the bunker. Frank, what's Rory going to face here with this fairway bunker shot?
Well, for most people, it'd be a scary and a daunting task, but for Rory, his ability to get the ball up so quick, this is very doable.
This one measures out at 135 yards. That one is bunker bound, it looks like. Well, he'd like to have that one back in the bunker.
Still a chance to get it up and down.
Frank, what do the great bunker players do?
Well, with short bunker shots like this, Rich, follow through is always a good key, but you've got to pick that spot. It's an inch or two behind the ball, almost like you taking out a divot with the ball in the middle of it.
Needs a good one. This is sixth shot. Settles in over the putt. Just misses. He can't believe it. Thought it was in. The door was open, but Martin Kaymer slammed it shut. Kaymer, the U.S. Open champion yet again. It came down to the final hole. Kaymer really put on a show. This will forever be remembered as one of the best finishes in major championship history.
Lose a lead or you lose a major, or it doesn't quite work out the way you had hoped. At that moment in time, there's obviously a lot of disappointment, but I think that passes and you use that as motivation for the next one. And that's the only way you can view it. You can't feel sorry for yourself, or you can't get down about it, because what's happened's happened. The past is the past and you move on. But you use it as motivation not to let it happen again. My toughest loss was the 2011 Masters, when I had a 4-shot lead going into the final round, and completely blew up on the back nine. It was a very tough moment for me. It was very disappointing, but I used that as motivation to say to myself, that's not going to happen again. That's not the player I am. That's not the player I want to be. I used it in a way that 70 days later, I won my first US Open and my first major. So sometimes disappointments can be catalysts for good things to happen in the future, and it's just how you disappointments in the right way. They can be very beneficial.
EA Sports is proud to present today's PGA Tour coverage. Today we're here at Chambers Bay in University Place, Washington. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, set to bring you all the action out on the course. Frank, what can you tell us about this golf course?
First and foremost, Rich is going to be the host of the 2015 US Open, but it's a true links golf course designed by Robert Trent Jones II. Breathtaking views of the Puget Sound, as well as the Olympic Mountains on a clear day.
Frank, you think of links golf, you think of Scotland, the home of golf. Links in the state of Washington?
That's right, and it is a true links too. Wide fairways. You're going to have a little bit of imagination today as well, because when this golf course plays firm and fast, you're going to play the bump and run, and you will need a ton of variety of shots around the greens.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Now the game's #1 player, Rory Mcilroy, ready with his approach.
Another good swing, another good approach shot.
Just a tap in to finish the hole. Did the job right there. Now at the second and a medium length par 4, Frank.
Yeah, a slight dogleg to the left, rather long, skinny green here, well bunkered all the way down the left side. Really anything down the right and the natural contours of the land should kick that ball a little to the left.
Well, no other way to say it, Frank. That's just an awful shot.
Bad.
So from the rough back to the fairway, that's the right way to go.
Yeah, didn't take the bait. At least now he's only going to play the price of a poor tee shot. Still got a good chance, though, getting away with par.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. This can be a cruel game at times.
Whoa, that was unexplainable. Thought that was easily going to be a par.
You don't have to focus. Try to make bogey. These putts keep the round together.
It's a cruel game.
So, 2 over early. At the third tee now, Frank, and what are we staring at here?
This green is anything other than symmetrical, so be very, very cautious on where the flag is. Anything in the middle of the green you can putt to the corners, well, if you can call them corners, more like ragtails, but beautiful par 3.
And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Really, you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. Well, that's just a case of not focusing right there. What a lapse in concentration. So a tester from 4 feet. Going to have to regroup now after that double bogey. Frank, here on the fourth tee, you get a good look, don't you, at what Chambers Bay really is all about.
It's framed beautifully, Rich, by the bunkers there, left, short, off the tee, plus the ones down the right side. You can see everything in front of you, but the hole does bend to the right. This is another one where you've got a generous fairway, but don't be fooled by that. It's fairway first.
Tough par 4 measuring 495 yards. Getting some sand in the shoes now. For a second straight hole, he's in the bunker. Frank, just a slight miss off the tee. He's in the fairway bunker.
Yeah, you just really got to pick the right club once again. Sometimes you take a little bit more club out of the fairway bunker, choke down.
A second shot. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.